Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help. And King of Floors, your vinyl, laminate, and engineered flooring superstore.
Just ahead of JP Barry, NHL agent, part of the CAA group. All of our guests today sponsored by Skipper Auto, supporting Canadian fishing families through a revolutionary seafood buying experience. Check them out online at skipperauto.com. As we're joined now by JP Barry. JP, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you? We got JP? We got him. JP, how are you? There you go.
Good,
okay.
Guys.
Good. How are you? Everything good?
Yeah, really good. Toronto, nice day, and finally starting to open up here a little bit. We can actually sit on a patio for the first time in about, I don't know, sounds like a year.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, what can you tell us about the progress being made in negotiations between the Canucks, Hughes Pettersson, and Quinn Hughes?
We've gotten started. I mean, it's going to be some back and forth. I know that we've, been multiple talks, and we started the dance, so we'll have to keep going for a little while here. Like, there's going to be some responses back and forth, but we definitely are engaged, and hopefully we can make some progress soon.
JP, the word is with Pettersson, because you represent him. I know Pat Brisson's got Hughes, but you told us a few weeks ago you don't think you can do a long-term deal with Pettersson. Is it more going to be looking more and more like a short-term, JP, for Pettersson?
I mean, we're exploring most of the comparables on his side are most of them are some shorter-term ones. There's a few longer-term ones, so that's why I just indicated the market kind of speaks to that. Shorter term. So but we're going to look at everything, but I think anything for Pettersson will be, 5 or under, and then we have to look at with Quinn whether or not we can do a little more or not. So, we'll probably explore some of that, but that's where we are right now.
JP, tell us about the market. You got some big names coming up. You guys got Seth Jones, Dougie Hamilton. You guys got a big summer coming up in July. Flat cap. How tough is it to get money right now, JP, out of teams?
Yeah, I mean, it's not happening yet. I mean, there's the real discussions on free agents really won't kick into high gear until around expansion draft, just because the expansion draft will kind of slow some of this process down, I think. Naturally, a lot of the stuff goes to the last 3 days before free agency, but I think with the free agents, expansion draft will have to take place, and then the free agent derby will probably begin the day after that.
JP, Sedins twins, you represented them your whole career, fabulous career for the two. Now they're talking about joining the Canucks. That story broke 3-4 weeks ago. What's the holdup there, JP?
Yeah, I know. I think they're figuring out the exact role and positions for the, that's sort of their first go at this. So I think the team just wanted to get some things cleaned up with their staff, and I know they were working on with the coach and the general manager. So I think it sounds like it's coming up very soon. I think they're pretty close to getting things finalized, so they're looking forward to being involved very soon.
Any news on Louis Eriksson, who has 1 year left on his Canuck deal, JP?
No, there's nothing on Louis right now. I mean, the team, I'm sure we're going to have discussions around the buyout periods open up, and there'll be some discussions about whether that's the way to go or not. So that comes up later next month. So I'm not sure whether that'll be their choice or not, but we'll start talking then.
JP, back to Hughes Pettersson and Quinn Hughes. It might be obvious, but why the shorter term for Elias, the longer term for Quinn?
It's more. I think if you look at some of the comps that are out there,
okay.
So I think it's more like, obviously you're dealing with a flat cap and you're dealing with the comparables, and like a lot of the comparables on that forward side are there's quite a few in that 3-year range. So it's kind of easier to peg his value in those years than a longer term. And and the reality is, the Vancouver's cap is an issue here. I don't think they can do long-term deals for both. So I mean, they may in fact only be able to do, best for both. I'm not, we don't know as we move forward, but I think some of the defenseman comparables have some term on them, and we'll start seeing whether they fit in or not.
As far as Dougie Hamilton goes, who you also represent, the Hurricanes, our understanding is that they've given Dougie and your group permission to talk to other teams. What's the Hurricanes thinking there?
I think it's just realizing that free agency is coming up and they've got to do some other business. I believe they, I think the reason for doing this is I think they're still thinking about Dougie. Like, we're not in agreement on a deal, but I still think they want to be involved. And I think going out and maybe finding out what the market is for them just offers some clarity to everybody, and they can then make a decision. Obviously, if it's done earlier, it could involve a small trade also for the team, so they don't go out completely empty-handed. But I think it's more about trying to figure out the market early and just realizing that's going to happen anyway.
How does he feel about being on the same Vancouver team as Tyson Barrie and Seth Jones? Because every defenseman who's available is coming to Vancouver. JP.
They're all coming to Vancouver,
as you
JP.
Know. Hey,
I don't think their cap will allow all these players to come to Vancouver.
But you know what this market is like. Hey, Dougie Hamilton, we all hear the museum story, and that gets blown out of proportion. Is he a solid teammate, JP?
He's been a fantastic teammate in Carolina. A lot of this stuff, they're just it's some ridiculous things. I mean, he left Boston as a younger player. He was a very young player. He was a veteran core, and that's it. And but Dougie's just he's a terrific guy, and you could ask any of his teammates in Carolina, and you'd find out the same.
Hey, JP, Seth Jones, you guys represent him. Apparently he's coming to Vancouver too. Everybody is. But talk about Seth Jones, JP. What happened there? Why does he want out of Columbus, and where could he end up?
I mean, my partner Pat's Seth's main person, but I mean he's he has a chance to be a free agent. I think he's just allowed the teams to understand that he wants to explore that. So he's a year away, so it could take a year. He's pretty much in the same situation that Dougie Hamilton was last summer. So the difference was Dougie was still trying to come to terms with his team. So I mean, I think probably Columbus is going to, watch what happens this summer with some of the other free agents, and the question is, will they look at his trade value early or not, or are they going to try and keep him? I guess so. We'll have to see what their move is, right?
JP, last one, is Pettersson's wrist 100% now?
Yeah, I mean, as far as he left, it's much improved. I don't know, 100%. I mean, it'll be 100% by the fall for sure. But he definitely made a lot of progress in the last 2 weeks before he left. So I would say he's fully healed. He would be cleared at this point in time, I'm sure. So he'll be a lot better by the fall. That's for sure.
Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox full of compliments for this interview, JP. They love how open you've been with us, and we can't thank you enough for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, guys. Good luck.